So I think everyone has heard about this chaos ruled the streets on Monday night into Tuesday morning after patrons attending the Sands party caused a traffic gridlock, impeding the free flow of traffic, which is what a gridlock does, to and from the Norman Manley International Airport. What went wrong and what's the way forward? We have with us the Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, His Worship Andrew Williams. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. If I'm keeping a party in Kingston, what do I have to do?
Well, you would make an application for an amusement license to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation.
And you're in charge of that?
Yes.
So I make an application for a license to keep the party?
Yes.
And what do I have to tell you?
Depending on the size of the party, some things are done. Very undependent what you're using. And there are some parties that will just use the ground alone. There are some parties use ground and building, which would trigger a different set of procedures.
Mayor, this promoter, sorry, go ahead.
So, but you would make that application. We would do our inspection, and we would, we can either accept or refuse. We can accept and lay out conditions. And also, we would want to see that there are other agencies that would give permission also.
So you're
and
not
then
the
police.
only agency I would need to get permission
Well, we are
from?
the only agency, but we do. If, for example, if you're using a building, we would ask the fire department.
Well, let's be specific. Did the organizers of the Sands party get permission?
Yes, they did.
They got permission.
Yes, yes.
What went wrong then?
Well, I mean, so let's take it through. They made an application. We considered it. We visited the site, and there were some concerns we raised in terms of mainly parking, the issue of parking, and also parking along the Palisadoes main road to the airport. We did say to them that we can't accommodate it if that was going to be the case. So they had to make additional parking arrangement because we deem it that the parking there would not suffice. Then they showed us a letter that an arrangement with the Norman Manley International Airport, where the Norman Manley International Airport was now providing additional parking for them along the Port Royal main road. And they were going to now introduce a shuttle system. I'm
sorry, sir. The Norman Manley International Airport said they would allow them to park on the main road to Port Royal?
Not the main road, a facility they have adjacent the Port Royal main road. When we saw it, so they entered into that arrangement with the Norman Manley International Airport. So that dealt with the issue for us of parking, adequate parking. Then we said to them, we mentioned about the issue of parking along the main road because we wanted to ensure that that did not occur. And they had it in their advertisement. So they did put out their flyer on social media and elsewhere. And on the flyer, they did specifically say to the patrons, no parking along the main road. And then we saw the permit from the police. And normally, once the permit comes from the police, a different set of actions are triggered. Normally, the police are, and this is our experience over the years, the police do get involved in large events and do help to manage the flow of traffic. And my personal experience, they usually do a very good job. We have seen them at Sabina Park, Ronnie Williams Entertainment Center, entertainment centers across the city. We have seen the police at work, and they really do a good job at it.
But let me ask you, Mayor, what happens now? A lot of people are very upset. It affected many people's lives.
Yes,
yes. What happens now, and who's responsible to compensate those who had losses due to this traffic buildup?
Well, I don't want to get into the issue of compensation.
I'm sure some people,
that's a
different thing. But, okay, let's look at responsibility.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for the problem that happened? Why wasn't the police there during the parking situation when the patrons arrived?
And that is what we are waiting for the report on that to see in terms of the management of the traffic and the enforcement, because there should have been no parking along the Palisadoes main road. That is what we're awaiting. From where I sit, I really want to see that, because that would inform us in terms of the way forward and to see where was the breakdown. But for us now, I mean, I wouldn't say, because we haven't had any hiccups in terms of large events. We have to understand what is happening now. One, we are diversifying the economy in the city's economy. So we are moving more into the realm of large-scale entertainment events, not previously seen in the city of Kingston. There are a group of promoters that are emerging, younger promoters that are emerging, and really putting on events that are first-class events that can match any event across the globe.
So we don't want to kill that.
No, you don't want to kill that.
We just
you
want to
don't want
manage
to
it
kill
better.
the energy. And they have, our experience with them, they have been really doing a good job in terms of the organization of these events, the management of the events, and the flow of traffic.
Let me go back to something that Empress really just asked you about. So I get the permission from you. You liaise with the police officers. As the promoter, do I have to talk to the police?
Yes, yes.
And for what? Because
Well, you do. You remember now, there is also the Noise Abatement Act. So you normally would now write a letter to the police. I believe it's the division within which the event
Did you
is
say
occurring.
earlier that you are the only entity I need to get permission from?
Well, you get an amusement license for us, but if the issue of noise, arises, then you have to go. So if you're keeping an event without any sound or so forth.
I know, but that would be at the end of the day. So I get I'm just trying to figure out exactly what went on. So I got the permission from you.
Yes.
And you said, all right, I do have an issue with what, because I tell you I went park
Yeah,
nice
and then you go
everything,
to-
all
and then
right.
you go to
do
the
I
police.
still then have to go to the police?
Yes,
But for
yes,
what?
yes.
If I tell you already I went park here and I not went park on the road.
You
so
go to the police, because remember now, an amusement license is for an event.
Right.
An event. So if you have an event in a public space, you get an amusement. You apply for an
From
amusement
you.
license from us.
Right.
Remember, if you're having an event now, that sound becomes an issue. You're playing a sound that can extend beyond a certain distance, that can affect persons. Then you go to the police. And you get permission from the police.
As well as Jacob for license, all and the
So
other
then
licenses.
you go for all of those. So you get that. Once the police approves the application to them and issues a permit, then you
So
are...
you're not the only entity I need to get permission from?
No, we are the only entity in terms of an amusement license.
Okay. Which is what? The first step.
I'm not certain if you answered every
Remember,
question.
there's a noise abatement.
I think
know,
what we're looking at is I think what Neville,
the
who is
JCAP and the others have to do with copyright issues.
I know.
No, I think what Neville is saying is, for example, we heard about people missing flights, standing there for 3 hours trying to get to the airport, getting out of your car and pulling your suitcase on the one road to the airport. That is a major problem. And the thing is now of accountability. At some point, so we don't have this issue again, we need to know who is responsible for, who is to take the blame for what happened. Somebody's responsible. And who fell short in this whole
that is what I'm
amusement
saying. The
license
investigation
and
is taking place because the clear issue is that it was an issue of enforcement. It was an issue of traffic management and managing the flow of traffic. So that is where the issue is, and that is where we really want I would say, the persons dealing with the issue of managing the traffic.
Are the organizers free from blame here?
No, certainly not. Because
so where would you blame the organizers?
Because the organizers are in a part of the condition of issuing a license for an amusement license for an event of this nature. Would that the organizers would have to engage, and the experience is that they do engage private security.
So they have some responsibility.
Yes,
here.
because they normally would engage private security to provide control.
Back to the
control.
police now. I get permission from the police because of the music you said. Would the police have to come out there because of parking?
Once the police is going to give a permit for an event of that nature, of that size. So it's not an event with 100 persons in a back street.
But I would know how many people
So it's
come.
Usually we do. Usually we do. You might not get it right in terms of whether it's 4,000.
Yeah, but I still would know that because there were many things happening on New Year's Eve. But would the police need to be there for parking?
Once they give permit, for the event of that size. you can easily understand what the size.
How big was this park? Because it looked very turned up, Mayor.
It's usually, remember, it's an annual event, so it's not the first time the event is here. No, so they would provide personnel in terms of, because remember, this is in a public space.
For parking.
So they would provide personnel to help along with the traffic management. The organizers are also asked to want to provide private security and also to engage the police in terms of...
So are the police to take some responsibility for this also?
I would say the police can't escape. And I think the commissioner is very, the commissioner is upfront with it, and I really appreciate the way he has dealt with it. He's very clear. He has apologized, and because it's the issue of managing traffic, so I don't think the police can just... And they are aware of the event, and they were aware, when it started to occur. So I don't think they're going we're going to stand to gain by saying, look, hands off. And I think the commissioner has been very straightforward.
So the organizers must take some blame. The police officers must take some blame.
We all should take some blame.
What about the patrons? Did the patrons park illegally? That's the next question. Like, where do you?
Well, there was some, and the organizers have said it. It's their party, and they have said they are on record as saying that the patrons were indisciplined and so forth. Oh. I don't want to get into that because regardless of what, we should expect, we should be prepared for whatever.
Okay, we have to go, sir. Thanks very much for coming.
We do have to go, but Mayor, you said something, and I just want to put it out there. We do need to talk about the indiscipline of our people, because you said making Kingston a capital for events, which it should be, means that we have to ask our Jamaican people to make sure that they do things in the right and proper and orderly manner, because it will cause problems for us to keep growing the industry, which is a great industry for our economy.
His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, Mr. Delroy Williams.
All right. And next we talk about from indiscipline to dawns, peace talk, the way forward. Jamrock, we love you. Stay with us. We're going to deal with that.